Stacy's Homestead, and today is the day after Halloween, and we're going to process our jack-o'-lanterns here. So we purposely carve our pumpkins the night before Halloween to preserve them so they don't go bad. And then that way we can cook them and eat them the next day or feed them to our farm animals, which I also do too. So I raised goats for 18 years. I don't anymore because it's just me and my husband. It's, you know, a lot of work. I've been doing it for so long. So anyways, the goats love pumpkins and the pumpkin seeds. It's a good natural dewormer. So I usually would toss them a few pumpkins as well. And I give them to my chickens and my ducks now, and a little bit to my rabbit. So, but we're gonna be eating this one this year, and so we're going to peel it and cut it up and put it in the crock pot, and we're gonna cook it down, and we're gonna do two things with it. After it cooks down overnight, we're gonna mush it up with our immersion blender, and we're gonna make split it in half. We'll do apple butter with one, or not apple butter, pumpkin butter with half, and I'll take the other half out and put it aside for pumpkin curry soup. I'll end up canning. And then I do have from my garden, so I got 3 of these from my garden because the ducks got into my pumpkin patch and ate a lot of the blossoms. The little ducklings did. So I only got 3 and of the big ones, and then I only got 2 of my sweet little ones that I have. The sugar pumpkins. I got a couple of sugar pumpkins we'll process later for pumpkin pie. And right now we're just focusing on our jack-o'-lantern. So we saved all the pieces. We're going to put back a few of the seeds to plant, and then we're going to process the seeds also for pumpkin seeds. So let's get to that. Alright, so we come out here to pick the rest of our pumpkins from our pumpkin patch. I only got a few pumpkins this year. I don't know. I've had a bumper crop the year before, so it was just so hot. I was lucky to even get 5 pumpkins. So I have 2 more out here I left curing. We're going to get those and hurry up, go outside. It's so windy, and process those for pumpkin pie. Alright. Here we go. We got our vine. Ducks ate. Oh, and then we got pomegranates we gotta pick. Pick some pomegranates. Alright, let's hurry up and get inside. It's cold. Alrighty, so here's my 2 sugar pumpkins we're gonna process later. We just picked from the garden. And they're nice and cured, so I'm not gonna worry about processing these now. This one I will. It's a little squishy. We're gonna process this one for pumpkin pie, and then this one we're going to wash up and set it out for long-term storage just on the table. Use it as decoration, and then around Christmas we'll process this one. So when you want to, I had these sitting outside for a while. I should have brought them in. This one's a little bit soft. This one was curing outside. So you want to wash it really, really good. I rub it, some people rub it with bleach water solution, but I don't. I use vinegar. So I'll rub the outside with a vinegar solution and get it nice and clean and put it on the kitchen table as decoration, and it stores there for months that way. I had pumpkin last year. I mean, it was May that they lasted till May where I had to end up using them. But yeah, these will last just like this for a very long time if you clean them up real good and keep them, you cure them, clean them, and set it in a nice dry area. So this one we're going to save for Christmas and just put it on the table. Process this one and get this going here. We'll get our pumpkin seeds going. Alright, I just washed this one. Let's get a vinegar and Wash it up with our homemade vinegar. So I have homemade vinegar here. Just take a paper towel. This is my homemade apple cider vinegar. Just get it wet. And you want to, the point is trying to disinfect the outside. And vinegar, nothing kills germs like vinegar. And so vinegar is a good disinfectant. So it gets all the dirt and stuff off. We want to get it nice and clean and dry. All right, that's good. Now we can set it on our table for Christmas time, and we'll process it then. This one we'll put aside and cook in a little bit. Let's get the jack-o'-lantern peeled here. Let's get some of this. So we're gonna save the skins. We're gonna dehydrate the skins for pumpkin powder. So just take our pumpkin peeler. It's easier to peel your pumpkin this way with instead of a knife, just use a peeler here. It's way easier. The skins are very nutritional. I don't like wasting the skins. And anyways, we didn't want to waste it. We just end up feeding it to the animals. But I fed the animals enough pumpkin scraps. Now it's my turn. Yeah, so pumpkin seeds are a natural dewormer. They're good for you and their animals. Alright, so we got that done. I'm gonna use my cleaver here. I can these also. I'll have canned pumpkin usually. I have plenty of canned pumpkin already from last year. So, but when you can pumpkin, you have to blanch it first and then put it in your jars. But I have enough, so we're gonna sit here and cook this and puree it and make a soup and some pumpkin butter out of it. Peel this. And then you just keep on doing that until you fill your crock pot up with your pumpkin. You can use any pumpkin, and you can use any pumpkin for pies. You don't have to have the sugar ones. They're just sweet. When I use regular jack-o'-lanterns for pumpkin pie, I get a little bit more water in it, and I have to flavor it a bit more. But that's it. They're still good. All right. You don't have to use a peeler. You can use a knife. If you want, you just get more meat on it. Alright. These are little eyeballs. Little pumpkin eyeballs. I'll peel the rest of it later. Let's get to so how you make here's one we left. We left one in here. How you make roasted pumpkin seeds is very easy. Super, super easy. You just wash them really good, and then you boil them in salt water for about 5 minutes. Dry them out, and then roast them in your oven for about 400 degrees. And then take them out. So let's do that. Don't forget to put some of your seeds aside. Let's get a few of these. We'll plant about, that's enough. I should get a good, for each seed I get about 10 pumpkins usually, or so. We're gonna wash these and store them. Actually, you know what? I like storing them with the gunk on it. Gives them nutrients, so we'll just put this aside to plant for next year. We'll cook the rest. Alright, so we got them all cleaned up and washed. Now we're going to add salt to it and then put it on for a boil for about 5 minutes. Use a good amount of salt, probably a couple tablespoons. You want to be able to taste the salt. Alright, let's go boil them. Alrighty, so we're gonna boil our pumpkin seeds for about 5 to 10 minutes in a pot of salted, heavily salted water. I use about 2 tablespoons of salt, and it just, you know, salt to taste, so you do however much salt you want. Then we're going to preheat our oven. In my case, I have to use a toaster oven to 400 degrees. And I'm going to get a pan ready, and we're going to oil the bottom of this pan just lightly to help here. Use a little bit of, just a tiny bit of olive oil, not much. Just a little bit of olive oil. Just, there we go. A little bit of olive oil on that pan, just enough to keep anything from happening. Alright, so the pumpkin seeds have been boiling between 5 and 10 minutes. Now, you could tell when they're done is when they're no longer white and they turn kind of gray. And so you're just going to put them on a paper towel and quick dry them real fast. As much as you can. Just pat dry them with a paper towel or a regular towel. And when you put it in your toaster oven or oven, it's 400 degrees between 15 and 20 minutes. Everyone's oven varies, so you're just going to have to make sure you keep an eye on it or it'll burn. Okay, so that's kind of a rough estimate on time, how long it'll take. But everyone, you know, like my toaster oven cooks a little bit different than an oven, so you just got to watch it. And then we're going to put them on your pan here. On the pan. And I'll get another paper towel and pat dry those a bit. As much as I can. They stick in still. Alright. Put these over here. Dropped a couple on my counter. There we go. Alright, and just kind of thinly layer them in your pan. And you want to stir them every so often because the ones towards the outside are going to cook faster than the middle. So every, you know, 4 or 5, or yeah, I say every 4 minutes, go in there and turn it. So I'm going to pop them in my toaster oven right here. This toaster oven right there. We're going to put it all in there and cook it. Okie dokie, y'all. So we got the seeds out of the oven. They're nice and toasty. They were in there for about 20 minutes. And I'm gonna go ahead and put them on this to dry. For now. And that's how you do it. That's all there is to it. Just let them dry for a bit. Alright. So just sit them here and let them to dry, and they're ready to eat when they get cooled off. Alright, so let's get this cut up here. We're gonna use our cleaver. Just break it open. We're gonna work in pieces here. Let's go. There we go. All right, so let's get our peeler, peel the skins. We're gonna get this all, the rest of this cut up, and put it in the crock pot. All right, so pumpkin and other winter squashes need to be cooked before or blanched before you can dehydrate them. So some people make them the whole one into puree and then dehydrate it. Or you can blanch it in cubes and then dehydrate it, but they have to be really thin slices. So our skins, we're going to blanch in boiling water and then line our trays with it. Alrighty, so I got all the pumpkin chopped up and peeled. We're going to rinse these, blanch them, and put them in the dehydrator. We'll do that in the morning because it's late here. And then I got enough pumpkin to do 2 separate batches. So on this first one, I'm going to do pumpkin butter, and we're going to cook it overnight. And then on the second one, I'll probably do another video on doing a pumpkin curry. So now that we're all done doing this, we're going to just put enough water in to create some steam. Probably about a quart of water to create some steam, and we're going to cook it on high for the first 3 hours and then turn it to low overnight and just cook it overnight, and we'll see what we got in the morning. And then we'll make our pumpkin butter. And I'm going to pop this rest of this in the refrigerator to put back in the crock pot for a probably a pumpkin curry. Alrighty. Alright, we'll see you in the morning. Okie dokie, y'all. So it's the next day and it's so beautiful. I didn't even have to take an immersion blender to it. Oh, that's nice. Not much liquid. It's perfect. It smells delicious. Oh, I love it. So now we're just going to put our spices and everything in it. So let's do our sugars first. And let's do 2 cups of white sugar. So we'll do 2 cups of white sugar. Okay, and then we'll do 1 cup of brown sugar. You can like switch it up however much you want. A lot of this is to taste. So I'll do about 1 cup of brown sugar. Okay, so after we put our sugar in, let's stir it up some. Now, if you want more of a smoother consistency, you can take your immersion blender to this now. But I'm going to be pressure canning this, and I know it's not, they say it's not a approved method, but I've been making this for years and canning it. So it is not recommended. This is rebel canning, y'all. But I add a lot of sugar and a lot of acid, and I don't do it very thick. I keep it pretty thin, so the consistency isn't an issue. And it has, I take a pH strip. I have the litmus paper to do that, and my pH is perfect. And I'm not even water bathing it. I'm pressure canning it for 30 minutes. So, but yeah, if you don't feel safe doing it, then just freeze it. Or put it in your refrigerator, okay? But I can mine every year. And it's just like apple butter and pumpkin pear butter. So you just can't, you know, the consistency they say is the one issue, the thickness, but I don't do it thick, I do it pretty thin. So, my kitchen, my rules. Let's get, so my allspice, I don't buy the ground up because I want it fresh. So I buy the berries. This is what allspice looks like. That's what allspice looks like before it's ground. It's like peppercorns, but it's allspice. And so I have this cute little grinder I just use specifically for my allspice. I love it. And you just put it in the little hole here. Put a few berries in there. Let me try not to spill it everywhere. Too many handfuls here. So I'm going to fill up my little grinder with my allspice berries. Some of them are too big to fit in. So I'll just push it in as much as I can. And try to get the smaller ones to fit in there. Alright, I think I have a good amount in here. And then we're going to close the little lid up. And then we just grind and grind and grind. If you don't have one of these, it's okay. Just put it in, you know, your blender or however you want to do it, your coffee grinder. But I just like this thingy. Has a good amount in the bottom already. So I'll put my allspice in here. About a tablespoon of freshly ground allspice. So I'm going to keep on doing it. Yep, got more. Alright, a little allspice goes a long way when you grind it fresh. And then we're going to do cinnamon. So let's do about a tablespoon of cinnamon. I love cinnamon flavor. And we're going to do about a tablespoon of clove. No, we'll start off with a teaspoon of clove because it has a strong flavor too. Ooh, I love that smell. And then the nutmeg. And if you don't have all these, you can use a pumpkin spice, which that's what it is. Pumpkin spice is all of these ingredients. So even apple spice has all of them except for the clove, I think. Okay. So let's do a tablespoon of nutmeg. Nutmeg is delicious. Okay, and then we'll stir that up and taste it. And then you just, you know, it's all on your taste buds, right? So if you feel like you need to add anything else, go ahead and do that after you taste it. So we got this going. It's the USDA rules, not the FDA. Did I say USDA? So the USDA, I keep on mixing it up with FDA. Anyways, so I'm going to be pressure canning this. And the USDA, it's one of those things they say it's not a recommended or approved method. So we got that going. Now we're going to add some maple syrup. We're going to pour, I have just enough. We'll pour the rest of this in. Maple syrup. Pour the rest of this in there. It's probably about half a cup that was in this. About a half a cup of maple, pure maple syrup. You can use maple flavoring. So there's that. That's all gone now. And you can use apple juice or lemon juice or both. I'm going to use lemon juice because I don't have apple juice. been trying to get it from the store, and lately they haven't had it. So, not Costco hasn't had it, at least. That's the only place I've looked. All right, so we're gonna put about a 1/3 cup of lemon juice. Okay. There we go. And then I add a little bit of apple cider vinegar because I like to make it acidic for canning. And just a little bit of apple cider vinegar. Probably about a couple tablespoons. Just to help bump up that pH. And not make it taste horrible either. Try it. Good. So I think, let's see. I think mine can use, I think it could use some more brown sugar actually. So I'm gonna put more brown sugar in it. Probably about another cup of brown sugar. Another cup of brown sugar. You can add some molasses in here too if you want. Or we're gonna add some vanilla. Let's get some vanilla extract. I'll go ahead and measure it for you. We'll do a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Maybe 2 because I love the flavor. All right, let's stir that in and then give it another taste. And then we'll just let it sit there and cook for an hour before we can it. Alrighty, so while we're waiting on our pumpkin butter to be done, we're going to blanch all of these peels. So these are the peels of the pumpkin. I've washed them and strained them, and now we're just going to blanch them real fast because we want to dehydrate them, and then after they're done being dehydrated, we're going to turn them into powder. Okay? So here's the pot. I'm going to fill this pot with boiling water. Alrighty, also, our skins have been blanching. I did it for 10 minutes because they're extra tough. I didn't do it for 5 minutes. So we're just going to take them out and line our dehydration trays with them. Here. Alright, got that one pretty good. The next one. This jar in the middle so I don't drop any. For 8 to 10 hours, okay? So yeah, 125 for 8 to 10 hours. That's what the book says. So, but you know, it might take longer. It depends on your environment and the moisture in the air. So it could be less time or longer time, but the average time is 8 to 10 hours. So we're gonna go put that on there and start it, and you know, you do it till it's dry. Don't stop at 10 hours if it's not dry. You keep on going. So until it's dry and brittle, and then we will powder it up into pumpkin powder, and it's good for any dishes. I like to use pumpkin powder in my homemade pastas. I love doing that, and I put it in smoothies, and it's just really good vitamin C. A lot of nutrients in this. So I'm gonna go put it over my dehydrator and turn that on. All right, so let's get our cleaver. Sometimes you can knock this part off at the edge. Yeah, see? That's what I do. Knock it off the edge. That way you have that whole flesh. And then we're going to just cut it in half. with my cleaver and then break it open here. And here's our beautiful seeds. These seeds we're going to save for our garden. And we're going to just use an ice cream scooper and scoop those out. And then we're going to save some of these and then roast some of these, like we did with the other ones. Oh, we already got one sprouting. Nice sprouted one. Put that in the garden and see what happens. Maybe I'll get some winter pumpkin. You never know. This has been ready and sitting outside in my garden for a while, so and it's gotten soft, so I need to process it before I lose it. Alright, so let's get our pan. After we get done, we're going to put it upside down right here, okay? And we're going to just put a little bit of water in this pan. Just a tiny bit of water. Oh, there it is. A little bit of water just to help create some steam. And I'm going to put some oil over the top for the skins. And the skins I'm going to dehydrate too. So, dehydrate a bit of those skins there. There we go. Now if you wanted to utilize the whole pumpkin, you can pressure cook it and then you wouldn't even have to peel it. It all would just be the same texture. So, I don't want to do that. We're going to roast it. And then put it in your oven. I do about for an hour at about 375 for an hour. Alrighty, so it's time to jar up our pumpkin butter, and I totally forgot to put ginger in. So I'm gonna put a little bit of ginger in real fast. A little bit of powdered ginger here, about a tablespoon probably. I love the taste of ginger. Yeah, about a tablespoon. There we go. There we go. Now let's get our jars. So we're going to do pints, and you know, let's get our litmus test and I'll show you that it's acidic enough. Now, if I wanted to, probably water bath can, but because this is of course not an approved method, I like to pressure can just for extra measures, you know. So we're gonna pressure can this for 30 minutes just to be extra safe, even though I know the acidic level is perfect, like a jam or jelly, you know. So let's get that litmus test. Alrighty, so we have our pH test strips here. We're gonna test it for you, even though I'm pressure canning and it's not like it's not necessary for the acidic content to be high when you're pressure canning. It's more for water bath. So I could, if I chose to, water bath can this because I have the acidity high enough and I have plenty of sugar in here for to act as a preservative, and no way botulism or anything will ever grow in this. So I feel very safe canning it. And I'm not doing it at thick consistency. I'm making it pretty thin. Alright, so here's our litmus paper, and we're gonna test it. Now it should read about between a 5 and a 4 is what I usually get, and so sometimes a 3. So let's see. We're gonna dip this paper in here. Oh yeah. Oh yes. So we got a nice between a 5 and a 4. Oh, that's good. That is good to go. It's nice and orange. It looks like a 4. That's good. So we know the acid levels out there. Now, what we're also gonna do, because I like to take caution wherever I'm at. Let's show you again. Sometimes camera might not pick up on it, but it's more closer to a 4, so it's good. But because I want to be extra cautious, you know, I'm probably overdoing it just by pressure canning it, but we're gonna add a tad of ascorbic acid to probably, citric acid, sorry. A little bit of citric acid to each jar too. Kind of like, you know, you would do with your tomatoes. So, we're gonna do a 1/4 teaspoon, just shy of a 1/4 teaspoon in each pint jar of citric acid to make sure our acid level in food is safe for long-term storage, okay? So let's get our jars out. And you know, some people use, like, if they don't have this, they'll use like lemon, powdered lemon mixes. Like, it'll taste like lemon though. See, this doesn't leave much of an after flavor for me. So, but yeah, you can use lemon powder, like for your mixed drinks. That has a lot of acid in it. And then, you know, vitamin C pills also. Just under a 1/4 for each jar, just to be on the safe side. I'm treating it like they recommend tomatoes. So they still recommend, even though you're pressure canning tomatoes, you know, you don't have to be concerned with low acid food when you're pressure canning. But the tomatoes, they still recommend to put a little bit of ascorbic acid or citric acid in there. So I'm going to do that just with the pumpkin as well. Okie dokie, y'all. So we have our water going in our canner because we want hot jars, hot canner, warm jars, warm canner. You know how that is. And then let's just start putting this in here. Tastes really good. You can go a 1/2 inch headspace on this since we're using regular lids here. I'm going to use these mainly for my pumpkin bread that my son likes. He loves pumpkin bread. Or pumpkin cookies. So many people throw out their jack-o'-lanterns. It's just such wastefulness. If anything, give it to your farm. Well, if you don't have farm animals, you can always cook it up. If you don't feel comfortable eating it, cook it up for your dogs. It's really good for dogs and cats. Add to their feed. But pumpkins, I raised goats for 18 years, and it's a good dewormer for your goats. That's why I started mainly growing pumpkin, was for my goats. Now, I would never can straight up pureed pumpkin without adding anything to it. You want to do that in cubes. You can can pumpkin, it just has to be in 1-inch cubes. And you don't have to add anything to it. Then that would be, I believe it's 55 minutes. Because I have some of that too. I have plenty of canned pumpkin on my shelf. Just regular canned pumpkin. But trust but verify, that's my rule. So gotta always verify what I say, because you know, even the people you watch on YouTube could be wrong. It tastes so good. I got my water boiling for my lids. So, you know, even though they say you don't need to heat your lids up, I always do. I've always done it, and that's how I will always do it. I just stuck in my old ways, and I always get seals, so I just steep them just like I do with my tattlers for a short amount of time in hot water. And we're just not going to do vinegar on the rim because it's not a greasy product. We're going to do hot water from our pot here and just wipe the rims with some hot water. Ooh, that is hot water. Alright, I can't find my magnet anywhere. So I'm going to have to gently do it with tongs, which I don't like doing that. Alright. Okay, put that one in. The next one. And since this is an approved method, there's no times for canning pumpkin butter. So I just looked up a reasonable time for other products that's similar and use that one. Because I know water bathing, any type of butter is 10 minutes. So if I'm pressure canning for 30 minutes, plus all this acid, it's good to go in my book. And sugar. Don't forget it has tons of sugar. And that is a preservative on its own as well. Alright. There we go. Let's get the lid on that one. Alright, got that going. Let's get this pumpkin out of the oven here. Ooh, that's nice and roasted. That's nice and roasted here. Just let it cool down a bit. It's got cooled down pretty much. And this should be enough for one pie. Oh, it's hot still. One pie. It comes right out of the skin. Real easy. Super easy. Some of the skin got extra hard. But since I'm already dehydrating pumpkin skins, we're gonna just feed these ones to the chickens. Because I cooked the skins pretty good. They're a little crispy there. Oh, it's hot. Oh, hot. Should let it cool down more so I can mess with it. One. Alrighty, so there's all of our pumpkin from that. Now we're going to squish it in the bag. Okay? So we're going to squish it good. See? We'll make it flat. That way when we freeze it, it freezes flat. Go ahead and flatten it out. Get all your air out of your bag. There we go. And then just close it up and put it in your freezer. We'll write 2 cups. 2 cups pumpkin. Pumpkin is how I say it. My daughter, she's my little pumpkin. My sweet pea and my pumpkin. My sons are my pumpkins too. Alright. Okie dokie, y'all. So our pumpkin butter is done processing. I ended up doing it for 35 minutes instead of 30. My time went over, but that's okay. A little more always doesn't hurt, right? Let's get that. I've been canning for like 20 years, so. And I've done the pumpkin butter for several. And I always just make sure I increase the pH, I make sure the density issue is not a factor, and then I process it for a reasonable amount of time. These are already sealed. And then also, it's not really been tested. So it's not like it's unsafe. There's no like findings that say it's like totally unsafe. When it comes to pumpkin butter. Pumpkin puree is a different thing because that doesn't have anything added to it, and I don't can that. But fruit butters, this is the same as any fruit butter. So and if you see like little what you think is air bubbles, it's not air, it's just space because all the air has been vented out in the processing time. So, well, here's the last one, and this one has a little bit of stuff on top, but it also has sealed. So I think this one I think this is my siphoned one, but it's sealed, and so it's all good. Well, y'all, this is my Rebel canning, my pumpkin butter, and like I said, I've done it for several years. All my jars, and also I normally don't sanitize my jars because you don't have to, but because it's a Rebel canning, I sanitize my jars first. It's the only time I ever do that, unless I'm like hot packing jars for pickles only. So anyways, this is pumpkin butter. We did pumpkin puree and froze that, and then we did pumpkin seeds, and then I'm gonna put my pumpkin, I have more pumpkin we're gonna put in the crock pot, and we're gonna do like a pumpkin curry soup. That will be for another video. Alrighty, y'all, well, thanks for watching, and we'll just talk to you later, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye bye.